So when I think of the word stereotype, being biased, I really start thinking about this question: what do you believe in? How are you even conducting your life in terms of those beliefs? And I think that is something that we really need to understand, because when you think of the word stereotype, is actually a like over generalizing a belief. So for example, if something had to happen in your life, you will now maybe later turn that into a belief. Let me make an example. If maybe you decide today I'm going to go for a jog for the first time and start running, and then what happens is that you hurt your ankle or something like that. When that happens, you start believing that, you know what, running is not for me, and you stop doing it. The same things that apply, the same thing when it comes to your business, or you starting a channel, you doing something in your life, you creating a project, doing something in your life. So if you somehow fail into that, like fail for the first time, you already conclude that you are a failure, you are not capable. And that is a belief that gets to build up in your mind, in your life, and you go with it like for your entire life. You will have that belief, which is a very dangerous thing, because if that happens, it means that all your life you're gonna have that one thing that you've believed in, and had you changed your mind or adapted to the kind of change that needed to happen then, and realizing that maybe the reason why I hurt my ankle is because I wasn't running properly, or I wasn't running in the proper space. If you can start analyzing that and say, okay, maybe if I can try again, I can do better, you will really now see progress in your life. And the danger of this, or of our limiting beliefs, is that we carry it with us, we carry this throughout our lives, and it becomes a huge factor. It affects not just our lives, it affects our relationships at work, in our businesses, like everything. So be careful about that. And I'm obviously basing this starting with you first, because before we can even put this out there to someone else, it has to be a question of what do you believe in. And I think I'll also get into the bias part. And obviously when you think of someone who's being biased, it's like when someone is saying something, or when something is being said, instead of you agreeing with that, you always have a way of disagreeing with that. And we also have what we call unconscious bias, like being unconscious bias. So what that means is that, like, if you had a certain experience in your life, you now consciously hold on to that thing. I mean, I'll make an example with me. When I was still, the first university that I went to, when I was there, I used to think that mathematics was hard, and I didn't do well in maths. Other times I would do well, but I believed that maths was not for me. I'm not capable of doing well in maths. And that was a problem for me, because had I not focused on that being a factor to say, this is it, I cannot pass maths, I could have went back and tried to find another angle and adapted to the change of understanding that this method was not working, and adapting to a new change. So fear was also involved, because I don't believe that you can just constantly believe in something. If you believe you can't do something, it means that there's also some kind of fear that if I can try to do this, I will fail again. So I'm challenging you to really start with what you believe in, and ask yourself, are you limiting yourself based on what you're thinking? Now, when it comes to other people or the world looking at us as women, in terms of what we are capable of, there is some kind of limits, and we've got people that are biased and stereotypes that believe that women are not capable of doing certain things. And I can talk about negativity bias or negative bias, which is, if for example I'll make an example with like a corporate space or work environment or a business, be it maybe a tender, be it a business proposal, be it in a boardroom of full of powerful people. So when a woman is being selected to take up a huge role, if now all like everyone in the room starts raising their eyebrows and go like, what? Nthabi can actually take up that role? That to me is really being biased and stereotyped to say that women are not capable. Why is that? I'm challenging us to really think positively about this aspect, to say that you have limiting beliefs that women, from what you've known all your life, that they are not capable of doing certain things. Now change that mindset and try to look into what other ways you can actually approach this, because women are capable of taking lead. Women are capable of just doing so much more than a man can. So do not judge a woman just because she's a woman. Now you're going to judge her thinking that she's not capable. Why is that? And it's the same thing that applies to not just in the work environment. Even us as women, if we engage or have, I mean, I'm big when it comes to doing, you know, motivational events, inspirational events, where women get together, where business people get together. So imagine if we have that session where women are there engaging and talking business and all that. So now that someone else is standing on Nthabi stands, and then you're gonna feel like, I cannot listen to Nthabi. What do you believe in? You believe that because you've had one clip that Nthabi said at some point and it didn't really resonate with you or your content, you felt like, no, I can't listen to her. So you must change that mindset, and do not hold yourself back by looking into what happened then. And I think that's really what limits us the most, is because we focus on the things that have happened and we don't realize that now it's now. I mean, there are bigger things that are happening, and if maybe you had a downfall back in the days or whenever, that does not mean the same thing will still apply. This basically means that you have an opportunity to still do better, and chances are you will be doing better because you have had all this time, and throughout this time a lot has changed. So I'm challenging that belief to say, can we as women be appreciated more and being celebrated more, and celebrated in a way that we get to be seen for what we're capable of, and not get to be seen or looked at just because of our gender? No, it shouldn't be like that. If I'm capable of leading a company, give me that role and pay me what I deserve. Remunerate me the best way possible. Let us really not look into the gender aspect to say you belong in the kitchen and men did belong in the office or whatever. Let's change that narrative. And with this said, I believe that together we can do more as women. I stand for women. I believe in women. I'm proudly South African, and I'm proudly South African. I'm a proudly South African woman who believes so much more in holding each other as women and really pushing together. Pusha, pressa, panda. We are doing it together, and there's no way that we're going to succeed if we do not stand firm and work together. I mean, Malala said on her code that we really have to stand together. I mean, the fact that her voice is not just to shout, but her voice is really to speak for those that are not being heard, to speak for those women that are not being heard. Not everyone can succeed in terms of them delivering what they want to, but if we are together in this, it means that wherever you are in the globe, wherever you are in the world, if you speak on my behalf, then this world will hear you. If I speak on your behalf, this world will hear us. So together we are one. Together we are capable. I am you and you are me. Thank you.